I am doing today, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I think you should be a Hall of Famer. I think you brought so much to the product during the Attitude Era, especially. You reinvented the product in many ways in the WWE. Do you feel like you should be in the WWE Hall of Fame someday? Would you take would you take that honor?
Honestly, I don't think I would, because I think there are so many people that are more worthy than I of being in the Hall of Fame that aren't in the Hall of Fame. So I think I would have a problem going in, but I don't think that's ever going to happen anyway.
Hey, never say never. Never say never, Vince. Just got done watching the Vice TV special. Of course, the Dark Side of the Ring there about TNA. I thought you handled yourself very well in it. I loved hearing your perspective in it. What did you think about the Vice TV special that was out? Ironically, it's today's Jeff Jarrett's birthday of all things, but the story they told on Vice about TNA.
Tony, I have to be honest with you. I didn't watch it. I don't plan on watching it, and I'll tell you the reason why. I've been a part of a couple of those Dark Sides of the Ring, and they do a great job, and they treat me very well. They really do. But honestly, there's a lot of people, a lot of wrestlers on those shows that just don't tell the truth. There's a lot of wrestlers on those shows with personal agendas. And I told the Dark Side of the Ring, man, you guys really want to get numbers? Every time you interview a wrestler, you should hook them up to a lie detector test. And I will be the first one to hook it onto myself. Wow. So those are very, very difficult for me to watch. Right. Because, like I said, people have a personal agenda, and some people are just blatantly outright lying.
I think it's great timing as well. Your new book is coming out, Total Nonstop Agony, The Rise and Fall of TNA. Your story from your time in TNA. I remember when TNA started. You were there right after the start. I remember talking to guys like Jeremy Borash, AJ Styles, like when they were just getting it going, getting the word out about it. When did you actually get into TNA in their timeline from where they started their first show? You were still there when they were doing the shows in Nashville at the fairgrounds, right?
Oh, yeah, I was there show two. I watched the first show on pay-per-view, and then I was there for the second show after that, and, I was there for the best part of its existence over the next 10 years.
What was the high point in TNA for you, and the high point that you think that was the crescendo, I guess, for TNA during your time, and when was it at its peak for you?
Well, I think there was a point, a lot of people forget this because a lot of people want to look at TNA as a failure. They have a story they want to tell, but the reality of it is there was a point where we reached over 2 million viewers. Wow. And on Spike TV, that was a lot of viewers, and I was very, very proud of reaching that number. I mean, there are wrestling companies today that would kill to have 2 million viewers.
Yeah, today's product in many ways is so, it's just so everywhere, and it's so corporate, and it's so structured. Do you watch any of today's wrestling at all? The AEW, the WWE stuff? Are you keeping up with it outside of just the casual interest?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. I have a podcast, russosbrand.com. I've been doing that for 11 years, so I got to keep on top of it. But basically, all I watch these days are the highlights from SmackDown and Raw, and that's basically it.
Wow. Tell us about the new book, the Total Nonstop Agony, The Rise and Fall of TNA. This is your third book, right? This is your third time that you've put pen to paper, right?
Yeah, it was always planned to be a trilogy, man. My first book, Forgiven, was about WWF at the time. That's what it was. My second book was Rope Opera, How WCW Killed Vince Russo. And I always wanted the third book to be about TNA, but many years went by, and it just takes a lot of work writing a book, and I wasn't sure I had one in me. But when I sat down and started to write, man, it just poured out of me. It was very, very easy to write. It took me a very short time. But, this completes the trilogy, which was the goal all along.
Don't spoil it for us, but kind of give us some highlights. What stories are you telling in this book that fans of pro wrestling, and especially TNA, may not know?
Well, basically what happened when Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan walked in the door. because that's when everything drastically changed. Everything changed about that company. You know, when it was started, it was just Jeff, and then it became Jeff and Dixie. And, you know, they had their differences, but it was still kind of like a family underdog atmosphere. When Hogan and Bischoff walked in, it just turned into a wrestling company. And that was, to me, the beginning of the end.
Do you remember where you were that day when that happened, when that news got to you?
Well, I remember, you know, Dixie never told me she was, you know, negotiating with, you know, Dixie never wanted Eric Bischoff. Dixie wanted Hulk Hogan. But, of course, when you start talking to Hulk, Eric has to become part of the deal. So, you know, Dixie never gave me a heads up that she was even speaking to them. She didn't let me know about their involvement until they were hired.
Before I let you get out of here, Vince, what's the storyline that you're the most proud of through all the companies, through everything? Is there one that you would just hang your hat on if a wrestling fan is starting to just look up, you know, classic WWF from the Attitude Era or WCW or TNA? What's the storyline that you can look back and just say we crushed it?
Yeah, 100% The Rock joining the corporation at the Survivor Series, because we had built that story for months and months and months. A lot of thought was put into that story. And I just don't think today, with all the masters that the wrestling companies have to serve, I just don't think you're ever going to see another wrestling story like that, because that really takes time and it really takes planning out. And, you know, today, like you said earlier, with so much product out there, I just don't think they have the time to do that.
Where can we get the book at? The new book, Total Nonstop Agony, The Rise and Fall of TNA, Vince Russo. Where can we buy it?
Yeah, well, it's available today on Amazon, at all bookstores. And if you want a personal signed copy from me, just go to russosbrand.com. The order comes directly to me. I will personally sign it and send it out to you myself.
Vince, I've always been a fan. Thank you so much for the time. Continued best of luck. I'd love to have you back on another time, talk a little bit more about all the great stories I know you have from the pro wrestling world. But keep doing good things. We appreciate the time, my friend.